So, what's the job market like in the Canary Islands at the moment? First, I'll take a look at Spain, for example. The current rate of unemployment in Spain is just over 11%. You're probably going to say, whoa, that's crazy high. Historically, for Spain, that's quite low. Normally, it's up around 15 or 16%. Uh, we haven't seen this kind of low unemployment, they would call it low unemployment, we wouldn't, since before the economic crash of 2008. And after that, it went up around by 20%. In the Canary Islands, unemployment is always a bit higher than the Spanish average, and it's just under 13%. Again, like, wow, that's crazy. Historically, that's low for the Canary Islands. After the crash in 2010, unemployment in the Canary Islands was 30%, so it's actually more than half. So historically, 13% is quite low unemployment in the Canary Islands, as crazy as that might sound. Now, what's the job market? I'm not talking about people looking for IT work or whatever. I'm talking about young people really that want to come over and maybe work for a year. So I'm talking about bars and restaurants, that kind of stuff. From what I see, there seems to be a lot of that work available at the moment. Now, if you come to a place like where I live, Las Palmas, which is a city of 400,000 people in Gran Canaria, it's very Canarian, it's very Spanish. You wouldn't get by unless you knew Spanish. But then if you go to the resorts where you have like Irish and British people, and a lot of those bars are almost 100% Irish and British and other nationalities in there, you probably will get away with speaking English, but if you have Spanish, it's probably a bit better. So I would say the employment situation here is better than it has been for 15, 20 years nearly. Well, maybe 15 anyway. As crazy as that sounds, with 13% unemployment. Now, the conditions aren't great. You will be paid very badly. You will get a contract of no more than 20 hours, because if you're more than 20 hours, you're considered full time, and then the employer has to pay more. Like, so they're not keen on giving you any more than that. Now, as I said, the money's not great, and also quite common here. People tell me, I know a person who has a bar. They were looking for a new member of staff recently, and they said one of the questions they got when they got told is a 20-hour contract. I don't mind working 20 hours if you pay me for 20 hours. And I say, what does that mean? They said it's quite normal for people here in jobs to get paid for 20 hours but be expected to work for 30 hours. And she said that was very common here. So if you don't mind that, and you can stick that out for a year or something like that, current employment situation in the Canary Islands is probably as good as it has been for 15 years.